The sound of White Cliffs country, Dover Community Radio.
East Kent Railway is a heritage line based in Shepherdswell and operated entirely by volunteers. Once servicing the East Kent coalfields, today visitors can ride lovingly restored heritage trains between Shepherdswell and Aythorne, a distance of 2.5 miles. Originally constructed between 1911 and 1917 to service the growing number of coal mines being sunk in the East Kent area, the line inevitably closed in 1987 following the final closure of the Tilmanston Colliery. In 1993, the light railway order was obtained, allowing regular passenger trains to run on the line, and since then a new station has been built at Aythorne. John Kemp from East Kent Railway met with Dover Community Radio to explain some of the history of the line and some of the future plans currently in hand.
When the pits closed around about 86 and the Preservation Society took on the line, it was all overgrown, and people don't realise that they did most of the work because it was all overgrown and they had the vision, and there was a lot of people that you got a lot of credit to for all the work they did before we could even run trains. I mean, the first trains run about 1990, so I believe.
Right.
And then from there on, we didn't do so much work on the site because they were concentrating on running the trains up and down. But
so are the rails in good condition, do you know? Or just overgrown?
Some of it was in good condition, but some ran near the tunnel where the cuttings are deep. They got wet and they needed to replace sleepers and that. And obviously the railway inspectorate had to pass it. And I think it took them nearly a year by hand to get all the way to Aythorne to the well, there wasn't a platform there. They've Ovingdons and that built the platforms for them, and Steely Brick Company up at Tilmanston, they actually supplied the bricks free of charge. So there's quite a lot of people that donated to the East Kent Railway to put it as it is today.
For people who don't know, I mean, we're in Shepherdswell, but the railway is you've got a big site here. Is it 14 acres here?
It's 14-acre site because we brought the Knees, the woodland, where we do the woodland walks now. And since we've opened that up, we've got a lot of people from the village coming in, and also it's just on the edge of the Miners' Trail. So we're hoping that people will walk in here, there's places to park their cars, and they can have a cup of tea and something to eat and enjoy themselves for the day rather than just ride up and down for 2.25 miles on a train. So
the track is 2.25 miles. It's working now.
It is. That's how far we go. We go up to Aythorne. We have got about half a mile. The other side is called Wigmore Lane. It goes over to the crossing. We would have gone into the Tilmanston Colliery. Unfortunately, the bridge got knocked down, so I've been led to believe, or got damaged. And Network Rail, at the time, decided that because it was a disused line, they would take down bridges. And the actual bridge is stored in the yard up in Ashford, and it's still got our name on it. But since then, the abutment's been taken down the other side where Kent Salads is. So now we are landlocked until we can get across the road here for 2.25 miles. But otherwise, we have got a platform up at Alvington, which we'd like to run round to there. So we've got three stations.
Yeah. So you've got the lease on that Alvington as well?
It belongs to the trackbed to the East Kent Railway, to the Colonel Stevens who originally opened the line, because it went all the way up to Winnsborough and out to Wingham, Wingham Town.
He was quite a character.
100 years ago, last year we had a reunion for the railway of 100 years of Colonel Stevens line, and with little stories about the Aythorne great train crash. Did you hear about that one? No. There was a train crash and it made all the papers, and there was only one passenger on the train and he managed to jump clear.
Oh, right.
They call it the Great Aythorne Train Crash. So, but Colonel Stevens borrowed and cobbled railways together because obviously he was on a tight budget at the time.
He did so many of them as well, didn't he?
He did, but he thought because of the pits opening, there was going to be a mining boom in the area, which there was going to be, because apparently they did 40 test boreholes, and he was going to cash in on it, but it hasn't gone that way.
The fact that they intended opening up the coalfields, he put the railway in, didn't he?
He put the railway in with a bloke called Arthur Burr.
Okay.
And between them, they got the railway going down, and this particular line left from Shepherdswell. It went up to Tilmingston.
Right.
It also branched off at Aythorne to another colliery called Guildford Colliery, which went back on itself. Then it went across to Elvington, and then it went up to Knowlton Hole, near Hamel Brickworks, across to Hamel through to Eastleigh. Then it branched off, went up to Richborough Power Station, across the river, and also branched off the other way up to Wingham Town Centre. But he was going to try and get it to run to Little Mungem, through to Mungem, and then connect up to Deal, but that didn't happen.
But then the people who built or developed the area, like Aylsham and all the towns around, they used the railway to bring in all the materials, didn't they?
They did indeed, yeah. A lot of it was stored here at Aythorne, and also Shepherdswell, before it was shipped up to sort of Snowdon and all the other collieries.
Yeah. So the two are pretty closely linked.
Yeah, that's why it's called the White Cliffs Colliery Line, because I mean we don't want to lose that colliery connection, because it is a colliery line. Yeah. And the only thing we've got left now is the Little Ruston, which is a Snowdon little diesel shunter, which is running. It belongs to a bloke called Anthony Larkins, a member of the railway here. And also we've got the St Dunstan, which is Snowdon's. There was two trains there, two saddle tank 060s, and one's at Dover Transport Museum on a plinth, which doesn't work. And we've got the other one here that doesn't work. And we think, as a colliery line, it would be nice to have the St Dunstan in steam again, and running passengers up and down, done in national coal ball colours, as it originally was when it first turned up at Snowdon Colliery.
So that is feasible, though, to get that moving?
It is a cost, the cost is going to be well over £200,000, but our main dream would be, if we were going to ask the miners or ask the coal authority, if we could have the engine shed that the St Dunstan originally was in, which is still up at Snowdon Colliery. And we would like to take that down brick by brick and put it back here in preservation, and have the St Dunstan running from that engine shed that people can see, and have it all running on the line. And
have you made any advances to them yet?
We've made inquiries, and until we can actually get a figure how much the whole thing is going to cost before I need to get a grant or to get somebody to donate some money towards the cause to get it running. We're now in the process of, we've had a boiler inspection done. It failed. The boiler is quilted inside, and the boiler has got to be taken off the actual tender and be repaired. And a gentleman called Steve Casey, who's a boiler engineer up at Aylsham, so we're going to keep all the work local. He's had a look. He's doing the estimate as we speak today, and he reckons it's going to take between 18 months to 2 years to totally rebuild it. So it was in complete working order to tow passengers, because it has to be slightly altered, because it used to just tow coal trucks. So it will have to be altered for passenger use.
Oh right, what, more power or?
No, it's the exhaust braking for braking the carriages on the train.
Oh, okay.
It has to have braking, independent braking, and the engine has to supply the pressure
is that right?
for the brakes to work on the train.
So this is standard gauge, presumably?
Yes, standard gauge. Although it's called a light railway, it wasn't very light because it carried thousands of tons of coal to and fro from the mine. So it's just...
I think the light was more to do with the fact that you could sort of put them down quickly if you could find the resources, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. A lot of the track, if you look here carefully when you walk along it when it's closed, which you can do, you can see some of it's from the main line. It's got the conductors for the juice rail. Well, we haven't got the juice rail, don't we? But you can see the big borrowed and still from everybody. And any donations from any railway. So that's why you get a mixture of different sleepers all the way along our line.
Oh, is that right?
From concrete to wood and...
But as you say, Colonel Stevens, I mean, he really saw that opportunity and went for it, didn't he? Big time.
He did indeed, yeah. And I think he would have made it if the rest of the mines had been open.
Yeah, no, it certainly changed the whole social history of the area, that's for sure.
It certainly has, yeah.
So now you've got, you've got a big setup here. You've got steam at the minute until the St Dunstan's up and running. But you've got diesel and you've got electric here.
Yeah, we've got diesel and electric, but the electric's obviously towed by diesel locos because we haven't got a third rail and we can't see us getting a third rail at the moment, but we would like to get steam because we've had steam on here before, which has been lent to us from Chatham Dockyard and things like that. Well, it's very costly steam, And most people took their engines away from here because we've got no engine shed facility to keep them under cover when we're not using them, so they obviously get damaged in the weather. So if we had our own steam engine, it would triple the turnover of visitors to the railway. We have about 3,500 visitors, but we would expect about 10 to 15,000 if we had steam. And it's something that we want to do because we want to make it a colliery line and a colliery engine. And and have maybe a museum up at the other end with pictures of Tilmerston Colliery and things in there, so people know. And even at the end of the Wigmore Lane, we thought about putting a big billboard up there of a photograph of actually what it would actually look like when the pit was there. Yeah. So you'd see the headgear and everything in maybe sepia colour, and so people could get off a little platform and visualise what it would have looked like.
Yeah, I mean,
the colliery was open,
and there's plenty of work being done around the area to collect all that sort of information and old photographs and stuff together. So it's all there to be linked together.
Yeah.
But for the minute, what you've got here, you've got the woodland walks, you've got a small railway, you've got model railway.
Yeah, we've got a miniature railway, we've got the Dilmore Model Railway Club, which is absolutely fantastic. They've got the carriages. We've got the museum, which is our old buffet we're converting. We've got the Barham signal box. We're hoping to get Shepherd's Well signal box because the Railway Heritage have now got 100 signal boxes that Network Rail have handed over to them because they're in preservation, and we've now got to tender for every signal box that we want to prove why we particularly want that particular box. Well, we'll really think 99% sure we'll get the Shepherd's Well box, and we'll just move it across from the other side of the line so the public can still see it by main rail. And we can use it here as a sort of demonstration of the signal box. Plus we're hoping to get Canterbury East signal box and maybe one more. We're going to move them further up the line because we've got a cutting in our woodland in the knees, goes through, and that goes for another half a mile back to the main line.
Right.
And we would like to open that up and do blossom runs on a brake van and a small engine, take people out there to see all the trees, woodland, especially people that are disabled, that can't walk through the woods, and so they can see all the trees and stuff. So we've got quite a lot of plans.
And you've also got the tunnel, of course.
Yeah, the Golgotha Tunnel. Yeah. It's the Tunnel of the Skull, and it's just under half a mile long, and that's where we do all our Halloween effects, and we were going to do a World War reenactment because it did have 2 howitzer guns in the Second World War housed in there, and the natural chalk ledge where they run out of money and didn't put a second line in because it was going to be a dual tunnel. That's where they put all the ammunition and the shells.
Okay.
So because it was a barracks at Shepherd's Well and Daythorne in the Second World War. We've got a picture in our buffet of Sir Winston Churchill stood at Aythorne on the platform stroking a big dog, which unfortunately died the day after. This he's like a Great Dane, and we don't know if he died of shock of Churchill or just old age, but we are going to put a plaque on the platform where Sir Winston Churchill actually stood. And we got little tea rooms up there as well, and that's called Eddie's Bar because the carriage that the tea rooms are in was a circus train used to transport elephants.
How did you come across that?
It was given to us when the line first opened, and we decided we'd turn it into a buffet. We've cleaned it out, obviously, so you can't get signs of elephants.
There's no smell of elephants.
And it's got, if anybody walks there, you can see the big double doors and we've got a photograph with an actual elephant inside it.
Brilliant story.
Yeah.
That's a great story. And you got your own buffet at Shepherd's Well, of course.
Yeah, we've got a little log cabin, which is it was our old training room, and we turned it into a log cabin because it's right part on the way into the woodland walk into the knees, and we've sort of spread the railway out further, so people have got more things to do. We've got picnic areas. You don't have to actually buy anything from the buffet. You can come along with your own sandwiches if you're on a budget. And we're trying to make it affordable for families, especially in these times at the moment.
Absolutely.
It's nice. So we do a pound day where everything's a pound, even the food and the drink. And you can travel up and down all day for £1. And we had over 400 visitors on that first one, and it was such a success. We are going to do others this year.
You have a lot of events anyway, don't you?
Yeah, we have car rallies, we have the beer festival, August Bank Holiday for 3 days, which is all local beer. Eddie Gadd's from Ramsgate Brewery, and the cider marquee from Brogdale, Tiddly Pom, and we open to have a travelling open cinema this year as well, if we can sort that out in time.
That's from Folkestone, presumably.
It's horse-driven. I don't know where it's from, but
really?
It's a horse-driven.
No, I've not come across this one.
Cinema, and this lady's got the old-fashioned lamp projectors.
Oh, right, yeah.
And we tried to get it last year, but we just didn't get it sorted out in time. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, we got it this year.
Tremendous.
So yeah, we try to do things sort of for history and to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Then we have a day with Dover Transport Museum, which is with the buses, and you can go up on the bus, open top bus, come round here, have a look at vintage cars here and at Dover Transport Museum, and travel around on different buses and spend all day travelling up and down to both museums. So that's a really good day out.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's a lot happening though, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and it's nice for Dover and Dill and the Kent area to have another tourist attraction.
There's a lot happening in the area, but it doesn't. There's no one tying it all together, is there?
No, this is where we want to join forces with the miners, and maybe the big dream is to have people coming from all over, from the cruise terminals, coming down and seeing how it was a mining life in Kent. Maybe get an old miner's bus and sort of have a virtual mine at Betsanger.
Yeah.
You go to Betsanger, you see the memorial, you have talks, films, all about the miners in the mines there. Travel around on the bus, go up to Snowdon Colliery, have another museum there with all the bits and pieces, all the artefacts that the Aylshire miners have managed to collect over the years, and then come back round here to the Tilmanston end, park the bus and have a ride on the Colliery steam train.
Yeah, couldn't be better, really, could it?
Yeah, it would be a complete day out.
That's a good way of celebrating the area's heritage.
It would be, yeah, and I think it shouldn't be forgotten.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people in the area don't realise that there was coal mines here.
No.
So.
Well, I wish you well, and hopefully we'll keep in touch and see how it all goes.
Okay, and we'll keep you posted on our new developments.
Good man. Cheers, John.
Many thanks to John for his time and the cup of tea, and also to his fellow volunteers for their hospitality during the visit. Details of the East Kent Railway's events and plans can be found at their website, eastkentrailway.co.uk.
The channel you want to listen to, Dover Community Radio.